Is this the best new 7-seater electric SUV from Hyundai? Well, I am here to tell you everything today about the Hyundai IONIQ 9, Hyundai's new flagship 7-seater 3-row SUV. Look at the shape. Very, very unique, as with all IONIQs, and I'm very grateful and thank you to Hyundai Australia for the opportunity to review this car, because I can tell you everything about it in this video. So first things first, just want to make sure that you are aware of everything that we're going to talk about. So I'll put a screen overlay of everything that we'll be talking about, so there'll be chapter codes down below. You can click straight to whatever you want. Other than that, I guess channel's grown a fair bit over the past month. So quick introduction, my name is Roland. I love cars, I love tech, and so blend them together, and what do you get? You get a whole bunch of EVs. I love reviewing top spec EVs and sometimes the odd tech stuff. So let me give you a quick summary of just high level specs, and then we'll get straight to it. So what is it? So the full proper name for this car is the Hyundai IONIQ 9 Calligraphy. There's only one spec, which is absolutely fantastic. So you pretty much get all the bells and whistles. Only two options. You get the 6 or the 7-seater version, and then you can get the digital side mirrors. Then of course you've got up to 10 colors, which I'll put across here. So the 10 colors, 3 of them from the top of my head are matte colors, and they are all added extras. In terms of price, this car is from $119,750 plus on-road cost, and then that means that base model $129,062 drive away. This one here has the side mirrors. It's also green in color. It's called Ionosphere Green, which means this drive away price here is $133,000. Other things that I want to tell you about this car. So it's got up to 600 kilometers WLTP range. It is a 110.3 kilowatt hour battery. I believe it is NMC. Total power for the car, 314 kilowatts. So it's two by 157 kilowatt motors in the front and the back. And in terms of torque, 700 Newton meters in total. So 350 for each one over here. So it does definitely pull. I can definitely confirm that. And the last thing is key competitors. Well, there's only two that I can see off the top of my head. And the two is the Volvo EX90 and the Kia EV9. More on that later, but either way, let's get straight into it. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you give this video a like, subscribe for more content, and let's go. Okay, so let's have a look at the exterior of the car. So I've got the car on at the moment, just so you can see all the daytime running lights, and also I've got the hazard lights on, so you could see that as well. So it's a triple stack LED light that you can see over here. So indicators on the top and the bottom, and the daytime running lights right through the middle. Then the ones down here, these stack of LED lights over here, I believe there is, how many? There's 12 lights on each side. So these are your normal actual headlights over here. There is nothing, even though this is designed, it looks like it's a daytime running light. This here is not a light at all. It is just purely a part of the design. Then you've got a camera down the bottom over here, and then you've got parking sensors. So here's the camera, and then you've got parking sensors all around the car. This is a active aero vent to cool the car, or when the car's on, it does open up. Otherwise, it normally stays closed for aerodynamics. So again, that's what the car looks like. So let's go around to the side and let me show you what that looks like. And by the way, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this car? I know it's very, very unique in terms of the shape and the design, so some people may like it and some may not. Okay, so let's talk about wheels. So the wheels are absolutely humongous. So it's a square set, so front and back exactly the same. They are Continental Premium Contact C, and they are 285/45 R21s. So really, really, really big. And they are the only design in both 6 and 7-seater versions, so there are no additional options. You can't choose anything else. And that's the back. Then swing over to here. So as I said, this is the option, and it's a $3,000 option. Digital side mirrors. Let me know what you think of that. So there's also a little camera right here, and then that's the main camera. So compared to, I guess, some of the other vehicles, it actually doesn't stick out too far out to the side, but it is still there, and it is a $3,000 option if that's something you're interested in. moving further out, you can see there is no tint on the front. There is tints on the back or privacy glass all through there, hence the difference. And then over here, you've got door handles that pop out as you turn the car on or as you unlock the car. And then when you start driving or when you lock the car, these pop back in from an aerodynamic side of things. You do just need to push that every time you need to unlock as well. So very, very convenient. And then, yeah, as I said, very unique design. So see, front half looks like sort of like a normal car in terms of the shape. The back really slopes down over there from what you can see. So it looks actually a bit smaller at the back. But running also through the back, you've got the charge port over here. So just push that. So there you go. AC, DC, right there. And this is, I actually like this. It's actually a permanent built-in one, so you can always use AC at home or at the shops, and then when you need DC, just open this flap over here. So really well done. And there is also external V2L. There's an adapter that you can get to plug whatever it is you need and to go camping if that's what you need. So to close that. Okay, and swinging around the back, you can continue to see the LED lighting that goes all the way across over there. So this is just with your normal headlights on for nighttime, so you can see all the lights coming down here, and here are the indicators as well. Very unique styling, as I've said. Some love it, some don't like it, from people that have stopped me and had a quick chat. Does remind me of a wagon at the back, looking just purely at the back. What do you all think? Anyways, so you've got your reverse light, which is down there. Tow hook, you've got a couple of parking sensors down over there. You've got a camera over here as well. Actually, there's two cameras here. So one is for the reverse, which is that one there, and then this one is actually for the rear vision mirror, which is inside, and I'll show you a bit later. And then the button here for the boot as well, which is very, very hidden because it actually blends in with that which is nothing and that which is nothing. So yeah, that's the back. We'll swing around back to this side. So charge port's on the right side, so obviously there's nothing here. And back round through to the front. So what do you think so far of the car? Is it nice? Would you consider one? Or do you think it's the most hideous thing in the world? Because so far, as I said, I have heard both opinions. For me, I'm in mixed minds. It is definitely on the unique side, and it is definitely a car that stands out on the roads. Either way, what we're going to do next is I'm going to do a quick walk around as usual in silence. So we'll cue the music, we'll have a look at that, and then we'll have a look and we'll go through the next part of the video. So let's go. Okay, let's have a look at the boot of the IONIQ 9. So, remember buttons over here, so push that. And there you go. So in terms of space, how much are we talking about? Well, first of all, actually, look at the opening of that. Absolutely massive. It's going to be the best to honestly take things. Anything big, you can put tables in here for sure. I am 99% sure you could definitely load a dishwasher in here or washing machine or something, and it would fit quite easily. Even small fridges, no problems at all. In terms of capacity, so in this configuration here with 5 seats in use and third row down, it's about 908 litres worth of storage, I believe. If I've got that wrong, I'll put the screen overlay, and then when you put the third row up, it's 338. But look at the amount of space that you have. Absolutely nuts. And so, what do we have around? So you've got some tie hooks over here, right there, here, and also around over this side. You've got a 12 volt 180 watt socket over here. You've got a manual boot button over here, more bag hooks here, LED light on this side, and on this side, this is a manual charging release latch cable. Over here, you've got some electronic buttons for the seats. So these two is for the second row to drop those down. this here is you'll see the arrow goes both ways, so it's electronic seats to come up and down, so you don't have to manually pull any cables at all. So let me push these ones and I'll show you that. So remember, we're going from about 900 odd litres down to 338 or thereabouts in terms of storage space. So there you go. Now this is an extra mat that they've given here, but there are tether points at the rear as well. And so look at the space. There's actually quite a fair bit. I genuinely think you could easily put, say, 10 of those Coles or Woolies shopping bags here very, very easily. No dramas at all. So let's have a look underneath. So we'll get this mat out of the way. So lifting this up, there it is. So unfortunately there is no storage over here, with exception, I mean, you could put a small cable or your V2L charger or something over there, but the main storage over here is going to be for your cargo blind. And the cargo blind, actually, let's just push these two seats down through that button, just goes in that square, where is it, right there, and then the other side over here. So hopefully we'll check out the Frunk in a moment to see how much storage space there is there, but this is basically the boot of the IONIQ 9. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to show you, let's pop down the left side, so just this button. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Very convenient. So look at that. So whilst there's no pass through in the middle, you're going to have to pick one. So if you've got passengers, then unfortunately you can't do it. But if you don't have any passengers and you need all the space, look at the amount of space you've got there. You could easily put a single sized mattress through the whole thing, but you can't have anyone sitting there. So yeah, I'm really liking how wide this is. It's really, really well done. But if you've got any questions, let me know. Otherwise, let's move on to the next section. Okay, let's have a look at the Frunk. So, might be weird opening the passenger side, but I can assure you it is actually on this side. You got nothing on the other side. So, right there is where you need to go, and then on the front, you can see it's been popped. Now, I don't know specifically where the latch is, so it's right here. So there you go. So there's no latch that you need to push, but it does unlock right there. And so there you go. So if I can be honest, this is actually a decent sized Frunk for a car of this size. I mean, look, I can't compare to a Model X that we have, but for a 7-seater SUV, I think it's decent. And the reason why I say that is because at least you can see here AC charging cable, you can see tyre mobility kit, you can see that there is this additional package, which I am not too sure what it is, maybe the slow charger. Yep, slow charger. So you can fit all of that in here, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And they've made it really easy for you to fill your windscreen washer fluid right there. So again, that is the Frunk. In terms of capacity, I'll do an overlay on the screen. I don't have it right here off the top of my head, but I don't think you can fit shopping bags. However, as I said, very good because you can put all the necessary cables you need in the Frunk, hidden away for the times when you do need it. Alright, let's talk about the keys. So this is the Hyundai key. So H logo over here, so lock, unlock, hold. Then over here you have something which I actually really, really like. So look at that first button over there. It's hold to open the Frunk. Then you've got forward, reverse, and hold to open the boot. Now this one here is not spoken about nearly enough. I think it's so useful because for us in the Model X and Y, you actually do use it a lot. So yeah, that's basically the key. It is proximity sensing, so you can just keep it in your pocket. And there is also a digital key, which I'll do a separate section after this to show you everything to do with the digital key. But it's the first time that you can drive with just your phone. But for the time being, in terms of what you need to know, if you're not using your phone, this is basically what your usual remote looks like. And so all you need to do is walk up to the car. This one's locked at the moment, but you can see if I push on that, that's what it looks like. And actually, I'll show you, when you do walk up, you can have an auto unlock as well. So you'll see that's currently locked. So let's just walk up. There you go, pops out open just like that. Now, I'm in the BlueLink app now, and you can see it says here digital keys. So you do need to complete the registration, and then you can use your phone to start the car. So IONIQ 9 is the first one to debut the digital keys, which is absolutely fantastic. And so all you need to do is you need to go into, once you're in the BlueLink app and you've set up the registration and everything, you go into more, and then you can see over here there is a digital key or vehicle digital key. And then it says connecting to server. So here's what it says. The guide: by registering a digital key, you can control your vehicle without a physical key. You can approach the vehicle in order to unlock the door. In the vehicle, you can have your phone only and you can start the car. So you just need to register. Fantastic. So let's close out of that. And then it says over here, in terms of registering, please board the vehicle with your smartphone and physical key. After boarding the vehicle, please close all doors. So let's register the key. And let's go allow. Now I'm still using my Android phone, my Samsung Fold. If you are interested in what I think about that, happy to do a video, but let me just follow through the prompts and let's get started. So adding key to the Samsung wallet. I presume it's similar steps most likely to add to Apple. However, Apple being optimized, it's probably also a lot quicker. Now this is all in real time, so however long it's taking, this is literally how long it's taking. And mind you, as I said, this is on Android. Now, it didn't say if I had to turn on the car, but I might actually turn on the car and see. Alright, so thankfully I turned on the car because it says here saving the digital key in the vehicle. So yes, you did have to turn it on. You don't just leave it off. An important note says, don't leave this screen. Now it's saying saving the smartphone key on the server, and it's been saved. So here you go. Digital key added to Samsung wallet. Fantastic. So we hit done. And then it says it's registered. If the digital key in the wallet app cannot be verified, please reset again. And so over here you can see my smartphone key has been saved. So we just go, okay. Do you want to link it to your profile? Yes, sure, I'd love that. Unlocking the door with digital key will log the user in. And let's group it to my phone. It's quite a lot of prompts. Unlocking the door with digital key will log the user in. Okay, perfect. Alright, so it's linked. So we should be all good to go. So let's turn the car off. And let's give it a go. Okay, so I'm just putting my keys over here, and we've just got the phone with us. Over there you can see the handles are in if you squint, and so car is actually locked over here. So again, as I said, just holding my phone, not doing anything else. Let's see if this works. Ooh, look at that. So this has opened up. We can get in. And let's just step on the brakes and see if we can start the car as well. Right, there you go. It's all done. You can definitely drive. And so let's close that. And I'm curious, if I walk away, I do wonder if this car will actually auto lock. So let's have a look. So let's walk away. Hasn't locked yet. So it doesn't look like it locks at all. So just remember, with the digital key, please make sure you do push this button right here. But nonetheless, I'm very excited to see that Hyundai has finally implemented this digital key, because I hate carrying keys around, and it just makes it so much easier as a family to be able to do well, things, right? Like, you know, wife and I, we can go shopping, we can just make sure that we have access to the car at any given time without needing to take keys. So fantastic, love it. Any questions you have on that, just drop it down below. Okay, so let's have a look at the front interior of the IONIQ 9. So first thing that probably caught your attention is the digital side mirror. So here it is very, very clear, and I don't know if you can see that here, but that's a warning triangle there, blind spot mirror. Hopefully you can see that there. Either way, let me zoom fully out. So it is a massive door, as you can see there. It is Bose speakers all around the car. Decent size cup holder here, not for absolute big ones, but your plastic recycled bottles you can definitely fit over here. Here's your usual controls all there, and then you'll notice over here 2 seat settings, memory settings, and you've got massage seats as well. A couple of options there for massage seats. I think it's back, bottom, and a mix of both. This here, in terms of material, it is artificial leather, so fake, but then the seats themselves are Nappa leather, or at least Nappa topped leather. So here you are. Let me know what you think of the seats. So it's two-tone, and also on this passenger side you do have adjustments there for the person as well, just to move them around. And you do have, which is very, very good, 100-watt USB-C charging. Fantastic. Coming down over here, you've actually got quite a few adjustments. So this here actually tightens the bolsters around your hips. Then this is lumbar support adjustment over here. These here are seat adjustments, quite self-explanatory in terms of what they do. This here though, straight into relaxation mode. So look at this. So this, pushing it forward, puts you, I guess, back in your normal position, like that. And then watch what happens when I push back. Notice that? So whether it's charging or you're waiting for your partner to shop or anything at all, rest assured you will be quite comfortable. Now this isn't back in the second row. It is only available in the second row if you do get 6 seats, so you've got the relaxation there too. Otherwise it's just in the front 2. So again, this is the 7-seater variant, so this is only in the front 2 seats. So it's just one push and that's it. Oh. So that's basically it. And then other things you have over here, so you've got your fuse box down here, then over here traction control, handbrake, open the boot, push twice to open the frunk from this side, and then charge port over here. So yes, there's a manual port down over that side down there, but you can also push it twice over here as well. And so that's everything from standing out here. Let's get in and I'll show you the rest. All right, we're sitting in the IONIQ 9, so let me show you the interior. We'll pan from right to left. So here we go. And we go a bit further up. Now, vision out of the rear while we're at it. So that's basically what you see. So it's actually pretty good. This is it from the rear view mirror right there. Hopefully you can see that if the camera focuses right there. And when you do turn the car on, you do also have a digital camera. So look at that. So very good for nighttime, and you just push that. That's for brightness, and then look, you can go up and down. Okay, so we've gone through this side already. Over here you've got steering wheel, which will go through all the functions in a moment. These four light up based on, I think, your battery percentage when you're charging, and then based on the different drive modes it can light up as well. They've done something new in this car. So I guess in the previous Kia, Hyundai and Genesis cars, we've always had a start button, I think, on the side over here or somewhere over here. They've finally integrated into the entire thing, the drive stalk. So park is still here. Then you've got drive, which is twist up that way, then twist back to go into reverse, a light push to go into, or a light twist to get into neutral, and you've now got the start stop here. So very, very good, because it just makes it handy just to do it in one go like that and then twist it. So really liking that. And then you've got a heads-up display, which we will show you in a moment. Hopefully we can see that. 12.3-inch screen, which goes across. Again, we'll show you that in more detail. And then lots of brushed aluminium design across this whole front piece. And then you'll see this really unique design over here. I don't know what it's called, but it looks pretty cool. And then, of course, Calligraphy edition. Then you've got some manual air vents over here, which I absolutely love because it's just better in my eyes. And when you click all the way to the left, like this, you heard that click, that actually just shuts off the air vents. Then you've got physical buttons over here along with a dial for aircon, and then this is all touchscreen panel for your aircon. I'll turn on the car at the moment just so you can actually see that. So this is basically all the functions for the aircon that you can do. So it's all touch sensitive over here. And yeah, heated steering wheel, you've got front and rear controls over here for your aircon, heated cooling for both driver and also passenger over here as well. So that's pretty much that. Okay, and further down over here you'll see a 12-volt socket that pops out right there. Two 100-watt max USB-Cs, which is amazing. So this car has lots of 100-watt USB-C chargers, I'm finding. Then you've got just a USB slot here. I guess that's for connected services like your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in terms of actual hard wiring or cable. UVC sterilization light. You've got a mat over here. You can put your key there if you've got any issues or if battery is low. Really further down you have additional storage over here. So look at that. So it's actually very, very hard to reach into there. So I'm not too sure of the key purpose, but I guess you could put things down there if you want. But I'll bring the camera all the way back up here. So this is at my chest level. So this is me sitting down like here. So if I was to want to get something, actually this gets in the way, but I can't even reach all the way inside. So that's just to give you perspective. But you do have a secret storage there, for better use of words. Coming back over here, if I pull that, so you've got a little bit of storage here, across there, and then you've got your glove box right there. So it's a decent sized glove box. It is a physical glove box though, physical latch. There is no electronic latch, which, you know, some like, some hate. I personally still like, but it doesn't seem like there's a lock for that. Then coming all the way back up here, camera, I've just shown you that we've got to the rear vision glass, and then also the camera over here. Further up you've got SOS, you've got Hyundai's Blue Link service, the light control. You've actually got a sunroof, which I'll show you in a moment. And then let's look further up at the sun visor. So there you go, there is a LED light that turns on somewhere about there. And looks like you can also go out a little bit. So let's unlatch that. So can you block the sun? Let's move that out. Yes, you can from here. Pull it to the side, and you can pull it there as well. Absolutely fantastic. And I presume you could do it on the same there as well. Then they've taken this from Genesis. Can you believe it? Acoustic control. So there's heaps of these all around the roof. And what that means is this car is absolutely quiet. So I've covered this off in all of my Genesis videos. This basically is noise cancelling. So if you've got headphones that are noise cancelling or earphones that are noise cancelling, basically what it does is it understands and detects the noise outside. It then does the reverse, so it kind of just cancels out everything. So what that leaves you is a whole ambient sense of quietness and luxury, pretty much in your own zen. So play some music, enjoy yourself, but it pretty much keeps it really, really quiet in the cabin. And then the last bit here is the sunroof. So look at how big this roof is. So there's a couple of things you can do. So first of all, I'll pull back once. So I would say from the entire thing, it probably opens about 25%, quarter way. Does have this wind buffering thing here. And so look at that. We are pretty much outside. So if that's too much for you and you didn't want to risk bird poo coming in to hit you on the head, because like, you know, if you're driving, the last thing you want realistically is I'm in the prime spot. So you might want to close that. So all you need to do, there's a couple of things you can do actually. So I'll bring this camera back around on this side. So over here, you can actually just push it in once. So if I'll push it in once, it retracts it, but it still allows air to go like that. So you might enjoy that on the highway if you still want some fresh air to come in. But if you push it up again one more time, that actually closes it. And pushing it again just opens it or just tilts it. And so if you continually do that, it's just an open close thing, which is actually really good. And then if you want, you can also control the actual sun blind. So look at that, it's closing there. So if you just want to block off the second row, you just stop it there, you just pull it forward again, and there you go. But for the purposes of the video that I'm trying to record for you all, I'm going to open it up just so that there's lots of light to let all the light come in for the video. So then the next part I want to show you is down over here. So you've got auto hold, you've got different drive modes, so you just need to flick up and down. So you've got over here eco, normal, sport, and my drive, which is your own different settings. And you can see as I'm scrolling through, the steering wheel lights up in those different colors. So I'll leave it back on normal mode, and then if you push that down, that's to adjust terrain. So if I push it down, you see there, snow, mud, sand. So that's that one over here. Then you've got hill descent options, you've got parking sensors to turn on, and then you've got camera. So if I hit camera, it also turns on. If you hold it down, it's also got auto park. So I'll close out of that. And so this is what the cameras look like around the car. So as always, it is super clear. This is the back. You can go look at the back wheels only. You can do like a wide angle for the back. Same thing for the front camera, front wheels, so you don't gutter rash your rims. So look at that, when I'm turning the steering wheel now, it allows you to see everything that you need. So I personally really like this view, especially for tight spots, because it's a massive car. So that's that. Then you've got a bit of grippiness over here, grippy pads, and then you've got NFC, and you've got basically your wireless phone charger, and I like it because it protrudes up, which is very well done. Cup holders, look, 2 standard size cup holders. No, this does not fit my big water bottle. I wish it had just a little bit bigger. Anyways, you can definitely fit normal water bottles there, so don't be too upset about that. Then this is actually one of my favorite features on the IONIQ 9. And no, I'm not talking about this here where you can actually adjust. And I mean, look, one push for the passenger. That's actually pretty cool. But that is not what I am talking about. What I'm talking about is actually center console. Why? Well, there's a button over here. Push that and lift up. Look at the size of this. I can put a full-size tissue box in here. And there is also a tray which you can take out to go further down for even more access. So realistically, and this bottom bit actually I should say, is actually access from the side, from the second row over there to slide things through. So it is additional storage here. So you can put things that are really deep in, like drinks, wine bottles, like you name it. It's not a fridge, but heaps of storage. So really liking that, but that is still not the reason why. So look at it, I've opened it like this, okay? So imagine there's a tissue box here, or there's just stuff, whatever, use your imagination. In the second row, there's also a button over here. Let me flip my camera around and hopefully you can see the button right here. What? Did you see that? Did you see that? Let me show you again from this angle. So, open here, open here. There's quite a few cars that do this, and I think Lexus was one of the first, but whew, absolutely amazing. Underrated feature, for sure. Anyways, that covers everything to do with the front of the IONIQ 9. If you have any questions, please make sure you drop it down in the comments below. Let's go check out the second row. Alright, welcome to the second row of the IONIQ 9. Actually, let me show you one thing first. When you open the door, just so you have full context, the first click for the door to stand by itself is like this. And so just remember, because it's a big 7-seater SUV, you are actually going across into the next parking spot. So if there's a car here, you are absolutely going to struggle to get out of the car, as with a lot of other cars. And just to show you, this is also the other side. So for context, you know, if I'm parking realistically, first click is again over here. And I'm not even talking about the second row, right? I'm talking about even getting out as a main driver. Like, it's a huge car. So I'm not complaining or anything, but I just want you to be aware that if you are getting a huge car, be prepared that you are going to get stuck in some spots. So that's that. Anyways, second row. So this is what the seats look like. So remember, there's a 6-seater and a 7-seater option. The 6-seater is an additional $2,000 plus on-road costs. So again, Napa leather, so that's what it looks like. It's actually really, really nice. And this is what the doors look like as well. So big cup holders over here. You also have, as I showed you earlier on before, you've got 2 cup holders over here. This will definitely fit your normal size bottles. This is probably for your coffee cups. Then you've also got over here manual sunblinds. They actually make a really big difference. So let me show you. So you can kind of see through it, or hopefully you can actually through the glass over here a little bit, versus looking out there. So it's not too bad, and it's actually quite easy to retract. Either way, that is it for the second row. So let's jump in and I'll show you all around. So inside the IONIQ 9. So let me move this seat forward so that it's in the same position as my driver's seat. Because realistically, and I'll put it back, I'll put it back a little bit. This is how much space you have. This is me, 172 centimeters, totally pushing out my legs. That would be the most I would ever sit. If I was to put any more forward, I am literally stretching, and you probably heard that little crack. That's really uncomfortable, but I'd probably sit like this, to be honest. 172, so imagine that at the front. That's how much space you have. So heaps of room, and that's my normal seating driving position as well. So there is heaps. Look, if I put my elbow here, I'm literally just touching the back of the seat. That's how much space there is. Absolutely enormous. Now, how do I look? Let me flip the camera around. So remember, this is the 7-seater version. In the 6-seater, this middle bit's gone. So these are sort of captain's chairs. I'm pretty much on the border of this third one here, but I do have heaps of space. So look, heaps and heaps of space, probably a fist and a half worth. And that's shoulder space on this side. It's very, very good, very spacious. So swing the camera around. So what else do we have around the car? So you've got map pockets, iPad pockets, whatever you want to call it. Over here, the cup holders. You've got some ambient lighting further down over here, which gives a nice hue at night. Jumping further up, you've got manual aircon vents over here, which is really, really good. I'm liking that. Then you've got LED light with a hook and a grab handle. You've got more of those acoustic sound, noise cancelling things. Same thing on the other side as well. And then down over here, look, you actually also have cooling seats and heated seats. So 3 settings for each. You can also control the aircon here, so the temperature up, down. You can set it to auto. You can adjust all of it here, and you can even turn it off as well. So I'm really, really liking this. It honestly makes it so comfortable for you at the back. So you don't need any voice controls or anything. You literally control it all here. And you know what? From a reach side of things, it's not too bad. I'm just leaning forward a little bit, and I can actually touch all of these. And this is what I showed you before. So I could grab my own tissues, could grab snacks, food, whatever it is. And then this is the storage. Let me just adjust the camera so you can see all the way through. So there you are. Now bring the camera back around on this side. So it's a 60-40 fold. So these 2 seats are connected together. And here is your additional cup holders. So it's adjustable by little clicks. and that's the lowest point. So you can still sit here, you can have your coffee over here, you can have lots of drinks. So you'll be really, really comfortable. So put that there, and then of course you got ISOFIX points on the 2 outboard seats as well. And yeah, this is the seatbelt for this one, and then 2 at the back over here. So final pan around from this side to this side. There's the seats again. And this is how much space we've got inside. Honestly, it's very deceiving. Like, there's so much space in here, so comfortable. And it really helps with the glass roof. Not from the heat side of things, but in terms of showing you how big and how much space there is. Once you open this up, it looks heaps better. So let me close it just to give you the other perspective. See? It genuinely feels a little bit smaller. So this is it inside. I mean, there's still lots of space here, but just purely because of the natural light, yeah, it's just not as good. But either way, I really like it in terms of the space. So if you've got any questions, let me know. But having kids seats here, you will absolutely not have a problem at all. And so that only leaves us one last thing to check out in terms of the interior. The third row. Is this third row good or really, really bad and cramped? I genuinely do not know. I've driven the car for the entire week, and now I'm recording the content. I've checked out the first 2 as I've gone through and needed to install this seat as well, but I genuinely have not looked in detail in the third row. I haven't gone in at all. So come with me as we check it out. But I do know there are 2 ways to get in on each side, and it is slightly different. So I'm going to show you everything. Alright, finally time to look at the third row. So you look at 2 buttons. So this one here folds this seat totally down like that, and this one does both, so you can get into the third row. And then there is also this button here which does exactly the same. So what we're going to do first, just to show you, we'll pull this one. So you can see that just folds that straight down, and this seat is actually pushed back as far as possible. So what I wanted to actually show you first is how much space does the third row person have. Honestly, this here would just be for a child, and their legs would be hanging underneath the seat. It is possible, but just know extremely uncomfortable. So for the purposes of going in, I will actually push this seat forward over here. So right there, this handlebar over here, I'm just holding the camera in the same hand. So I'm going to pull that, and this is the most that you could go forward as an example, which is heaps of space, but we are just going to push it here. So I think that's an acceptable space. So I'll just push this handle here too. So realistically, if I get in here, this is still a lot of space for me. So just giving you the demonstration on how good or bad it's going to be. I can fit in the second row very comfortably. And so what we will do is we'll push this here. So that goes like that, right? So down a bit and forward, it unlocks all of that. And this is the space that we have to get in. So remember, depending on how you are parking, first click is there, right? And remember, we're already over the line. So I've had a good think about it. How we're going to get in here is I've got the door open on the first latch. So again, you're already hitting the next car, but for argument's sake, let's just say we're not, and there's no car there. I am going to put my left leg in first, and then I'm going to put my body in. So let me flip the camera around, sort of like this, and then down over here, I'm going to push that, and then I'm going to bring myself in. So let me flip the camera around. That's basically that. So let me close this door. Oh, clearly didn't close that properly. All right. So this is the space that I've got so far. Now, moment of truth. Moment of truth. Oh, and the other thing as well to mention before, they've actually thought about it. So you can see there's a higher gap over here for your feet. So that's actually quite good. All right, let's pull the chair back. And so this person here, realistically, has their back straight. And they are definitely not going to be comfortable. So I'll do this for them so they're sort of leaned back a little bit, but my knees literally are pushing up against this. It's not uncomfortable, like they're literally just touching. So I think 172, you're the perfect height. Here my feet can wobble up and down a little bit, and they are under the seat. It's not uncomfortable, to be honest. It is doable, but this bit here is going to get uncomfortable on a long trip unless you're sort of spreading your legs open like that, so you're not pushed up against there. But if you look at the space in front, there is genuinely heaps. So if you wanted to, you really should just push this person forward and they can deal with it. So let's push this forward a little bit and let's stop them here. Give them a little bit more space there. So now I've got a fist worth of space, actually a bit more than that. They've still got a fair bit of space out there, and I am super comfortable. Well, for the most part, my legs are. Now, this seat here is fully pushed back, also reclined a little bit as well. And so let me get in this side and let's see if we can even fit at all. So remember, these seats are actually all upright. Okay, so actually let me turn the camera around. Oh, I'm doing this for all you viewers. Please, I'm struggling. Give me a like on the video. Totally appreciate it, but thank you. Okay, so this is quite funny. Let me see if I can get it. So my knees are here, which you can see is actually on this chair, and like I'm totally squashed, like very, very squashed. I'll flip the camera around. Like, my knees are like totally squashed in. I am really, really uncomfortable. This is the side. This is how much space we've got on this side. Hopefully you can see that. So look, a lot and a lot of space over here, a lot and a lot, well, more than a fist worth up here, but heaps on this side. But because of this, I'm not comfortable. Now, before you make your decision and say you don't want this car because of the third row seats and you're not comfortable, I am sitting just based on how the standard seat is as soon as you fold them up. But you do, because you see how straight this seat is, you can actually adjust it through here. So look what happens when I push this button over here. You can actually recline it further back. So that's like that. Now let me show you what that means. This here is actually very, very good. So I am actually reclined back and I am literally leaning back. There is so much space here and I'm stretching my legs out, so that's actually really good. So now let me put the seat up. I think, yeah, I genuinely think it'd be okay. I would not be complaining about this. I would, you know, I would go to the point of saying, if that front row person is comfortable, as in the second row, I'm actually quite comfortable over here. And so let me show you this one as well. So we'll push this one back. See, they can go just as far back as well. But if you are pushing it all the way back, I can guarantee you this is extremely uncomfortable. No good at all. But yeah, and the other good thing as well, up here, you've still got a light here for the back, and you've got aircon, which is actually probably the most important thing, because I found in a lot of three-row SUVs, if there's no aircon here, it gets extremely hot and uncomfortable. One downside that I've actually also just figured out, there is no blinds over here in the third row, which is a bit unfortunate, but you do have them in the second row, so nothing for the third. So potentially you could buy something online that might cover it. I've just got concerns on heat from that aspect. So that's about it in terms of sitting this side and getting out from the passenger side, so the curb side. So remember, just to get out, you just push this button over here and the whole thing just goes forward. Now what I didn't get to show you yet is actually how you enter from this side, because it is actually totally different. So remember, this one goes forward and then does that. So then we just need to open this and get out. And so all you need to do is you need to pull that back and do that. So let me show you the other side. So actually over here, it actually also operates a bit differently. So you can see this button over here. So this actually totally disconnects. So watch this. I'll just move this seatbelt out of the way. So if I push this button, look at that, heaps better. Straight in, very easy, literally one step. Absolutely amazing. Only downside is that is on the opposite side of the road, and so you are probably going to need to open the door really wide. But nonetheless, I think it was pretty good. So that's everything to do with access to the third row. So if you have any questions, drop it down below. Okay, let's check out some functions on the steering wheel. So when you push mode, you've just got a couple of options that you could adjust over here, whatever you want to select. So as soon as you push it, it just enables these functions. You've also got a steering wheel button, custom one over here. So again, once you push that, you can select a few various functions as shortcuts to be enabled. Then you've also got up down buttons to toggle whatever it is you want. So those represent a couple of these buttons over here on both sides. Okay, and this button over here is just a voice assistant. So if you push it once, it's the Hyundai voice assistant, and if you hold it down, it goes to your whatever's on your phone. So for example, either Siri or Google Assistant. Mode we've just gone through. This is for music track up down. That's for volume up down. If you hold that down, that goes into mute. That's picking up and dropping telephone calls. This over here is for your lane keeping assist and steering assist on the highway. That's to enable cruise control. That is vehicle distance, so you can set different options there. And this will toggle through the menu over here. So this one here is for your GPS. Then this one here is for cruise control. And if I push down the arrow, then this one is for drive power distribution. So if I scroll down on the wheel, you can see current trip, you can see after charging, and that's just this scroll wheel over here. Then you've got since last reset, range guide, tire pressure, and also drive power distribution. So that's all through here, and then we'll just flip through the menu and then back to the GPS. So that's basically all the functions here on the steering wheel. And then obviously you've also got here regen modes over here. Now, it doesn't have iPedal 3.0 like in the Kia EV3, so unfortunately whenever you switch your modes, it does reset to level 3 regen and it doesn't stay on one pedal. And up ahead, you might be able to see quite faintly the heads-up display, the speed recognition on the top left, you've got the speed on the bottom, and then that rectangle bit there starts to show you your lane keeping and auto steering and cars in front and all of that stuff, especially when you start your cruise control. In terms of other contents on there, you can see here turn-by-turn info, you can do media information, you can check core information and driving assistance info, and also blind spot safety info as well. So the blind spot safety is just a wave that kind of comes on this side or on this side. It doesn't actually show you the camera. But yeah, it's not a massive heads-up display, but it definitely does do the job. And you also do have blind spot, as I mentioned before, just over here, which hopefully I'll be able to show you on the drive. Okay, let's have a quick checkout of the infotainment. So phone, Android Auto or Apple CarPlay will be there, voice memo to record whatever it is you want. Seats, this is all of your seat settings, so warm and ventilation for the rear. And you can also do some adjustments as well. You can fold the seats from here as well. So this is all for the second row, which is actually quite good. Haven't seen that before. Then for your front controls, it's actually just down over here. Okay, and car wash mode. They've started to implement this in a lot of cars. So basically, pause the screen here if you want to have a look in more detail, but those are essentially the things that happen as soon as you hit start. So I'll push back and we'll go into settings. And so a whole bunch of settings over here. I don't expect to go through absolutely every single one. We'll go through a couple of them though. So you've got driver assistance settings, which is all of these types of things. You can check out drive mode, So this is configuring your actual drive mode so that when you switch it, it's more personalized. This here is just, I guess, fake engine noises. Then next one over here, you've got some seat settings. And then further down, we've got light settings. So ambient light is probably always a nice one to change to whatever it is you want. One touch soft indicator, headlight timing out, light pattern as well. So I think this is pretty cool. Right now it's visualization, so you can see over here. There's nothing else though at this point in time. And then intelligent high beam, so faster than whatever speeds. I'll just leave it as 20. And then you've got some door settings as well over here. Digital key, which we have set up already and I've shown you. Same thing with convenience, it's just a couple of additional settings over here. So jump back out of here. So we've essentially gone through everything here. EV is always a nice one. So battery conditioning, utility mode, smart regen, audible charging, and plug and charge. The rest is probably quite self-explanatory, so I won't go through that. I have gone through these previously, so just check out some of the other Hyundai and Kia vehicles where I've gone through in heaps of detail, every single menu option. And then these are just general options like system, time, date, info, and all of that stuff. Now, one thing I actually wanted to test was in terms of the navigation. So I'm just loading up the actual maps for Hyundai. So I'm keen to know if I set, say for example, let's drive to Brisbane. Is the car going to be smart enough now to know, and it's actually Google Maps by the way, powered by Google. I want to know, is it going to know and show me where I need to charge? Okay, so this is obviously saying all the close ones based on current route. Now on the car it says I can still do 298 kilometers. So let's just say, for argument's sake, I want to charge, and it doesn't actually go anything further than 200 kilometers over here. So if I just select this one, we'll go search stations to charge.
The route guidance will start now.
We'll just pick one that's quite far from here. Charge Fox, and we'll go add as a, we'll hit OK, add as a stop off. So we're still navigating through to Brisbane. So we go start.
The route guidance will start now.
I do wonder, in terms of the overall route, is it going to tell me I need to charge more? So no, it's not. And I know for a fact that if I drive 146 kilometers from here, even if I have a full charge at 100%, I won't make it to Brisbane. So it's not there yet. It's not there yet in terms of route planning on these stock maps. So I highly recommend you do your own planning outside of using the in-car navigation. Alright, let's talk about the things I like and I don't like about the Hyundai IONIQ 9. Starting with the first one. So what I like about this car is actually the looks and the design. Now, looks may be subjective, totally understand that, but I just think this car just looks so funky. There's no other cars that look like it on the road, and it is such an attention-seeking car. Not that I guess attention-seeking is great and everything, but more from the fact that this car just looks unique. And I'm just going more from, like, as a Tesla Model Y owner, there are so many on the road, they all just blend in. This just looks wild, it just looks funky, like it stands out when you're in a car park, you know, I just really like the looks of it. I don't think it's the most beautiful car in the world, again, subjective, but I do like the fact that it just looks different. They've just gone wild. It's like they've just kind of wiped everything off the table of what traditional cars look like, and they just said, just go and make something. So that's the first thing I like about this car. The second thing I like about this Hyundai IONIQ 9 is the seat comfort. Now remember, this is a Nappa leather, so look at that. It looks really nice and it is so comfortable. The seats are so wide. I genuinely feel like I'm sitting on a couch. The the material is soft. It's not absolutely hard. It's wrapping around my hips. The bolsters are good. The bolster, they're all adjustable. You can also get a massage as well, so I think they've really nailed it in terms of the comfort. And the seat is actually, in terms of lengthwise, it's actually quite comfortable, sitting just below my knees, even though there's no specific additional attachment to kind of increase that to support people that are taller. For my, I guess, shape and size and height, I feel like it's really well done, and I'm really comfortable. The third thing I like is the digital key. So this is digital key, I think 2.0, I think that's what they've called it. I'll move the camera here to the side. I'll put a little overlay here with the description. But the digital key is absolutely something I love, especially as a current Tesla owner. It just means it's so convenient to not need to carry a set of keys wherever you go, and you've always got that on hand, ready, as long as you've got your phone. I really genuinely do like it, and they should talk about that more, because this is the first Hyundai IONIQ that actually does have it. So hopefully we'll see that rolled out eventually to every single IONIQ on the line, or all of the Hyundai EVs, and even Kia and Genesis in the future as well. But since this is the first one, really exciting, and I really do like it. The next thing I like is the fact that on this side console, which I showed you earlier, it opens both sides. It may seem gimmicky, but I feel like it's something that's just really useful, that should be in all cars. Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say. And the fact that this also has the tray that goes further down, you have even more space. I think I've been really thoughtful about that. So well done to you guys, Hyundai. And the last thing I think is fantastic that I like about this car is that there is only one spec. So that means everyone gets the top spec, because that is the only spec. They haven't made it hard for you to choose single motor, dual motor, you know, whether you get leather seats, no leather seats, you get this feature, you get that feature, none of that. And I have really liked the fact that they have said that the digital side mirrors are an option. So that one spec thing, I think they've totally nailed. It makes choosing the car very simple. And so that's everything I like about the Hyundai IONIQ 9. What have I missed? What do you like about the IONIQ 9? I'd love to hear from you, so drop it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear exactly what you like about this car. Okay, we've gone through the things we like about the IONIQ 9. Let's go through the things that we don't like about the IONIQ 9, because there definitely are a couple of things. The first thing is, and this is by means no particular order, so these are just things I actually don't like. First of all, I don't like the digital side mirrors. I've openly said it plenty of times. I genuinely do not like it. And the key reason is because, you know, growing up learning to drive, same thing that I've mentioned in other videos, but if you haven't seen it, my reasons are the fact that learning to drive, I've been able to look at the side mirror. I can look up and down, left and right, bob my head around, and then I can see that little bit extra in the mirror. With the digital side mirrors, you're just looking at that specific image. It doesn't matter which way you bob your head or you dance your head around. You can't see any more than that. So I really don't like it. And I just can't seem to gauge distance very well. I don't know if it's just my eyes, and again, let me know in the comments below, is it just me? But I just feel like I can't judge distance the same way that I can judge when I'm looking at an actual mirror. So that's the first one I don't like. Okay, and the next thing I don't like is actually to do with the design of the car as well. Well, it's actually due to the design of the car. So let me actually flip the camera around. Okay, so hopefully you can see that right there. So my issue is that whilst the car is so curvy, if I turn this around here, I can't judge where the front of the car is because it is so curvy. So I don't know where the front actually drops off and it actually goes down. So it's very hard to judge the distance. Thankfully though, down over here you do have cameras that are absolutely amazing, and you can actually see in front of your car at any point in time. So that's really helpful. But if you look at the front over there, I find it's a little bit hard to judge where the front of the car is. But I'm just saying, from my view driving over the week, I've found that I can't really work out where the front of the car is. So thankfully we've got cameras anyway, and I think you do get a general idea of the car in front, but you just can't see as clear as cars that are more boxy shaped. The next thing I don't like is, I think, general ergonomics on this car, and I don't know if the digital side mirrors play a part in it or not, But you do have the ability to sit fairly high for this car, which is absolutely fantastic, and I genuinely love it. You really do feel like you're king of the road. Now, I'm sitting in the highest position right now, and I'm holding the camera at my eye level, and my issue is the heads-up display. So I don't know if you can really see that or not, and apologies if you can't. But the long story short is, based on the seat height, if you raise it to the highest point, the heads-up display is actually cut out. You can't move it any lower than what you'd want. So based on my height, you'd have to sit lower in order to see the entire heads-up display. Now, a heads-up display isn't the only thing. I guess it's two-part to that. So the rest of the ergonomic side of things is, I'm in my driving position now, and I'm finding that from a safety side of things, I'm taking my eyes off the road to do a lot. So first example is nothing to do with this here, because you've got a heads-up display so you can see the speed for the most part. If I need to look to change lanes to the right as an example, okay, I'll indicate to the right. You'll see that there is a camera down here, which is all well and good, and it's the same thing if I indicate left, the camera goes here. But I'm finding that to check my safety spot at my eye level, if I look right, I actually see nothing. I have to look down to see back to the side for me. Otherwise, I'm looking down over here, right? So if I look here, you can see the difference. So this here looks to the side over here. This looks also to the side, but I guess a little bit closer. Either way, for both of these, I'm actually physically looking down to both. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then I'll turn around over here. So let's just say it's GPS, right? You do have just the directions up on the heads-up display. But then to look at the map physically, you're looking again from there, you're looking down over here. And then even worse, so don't mind me about all of these media controls and volume and everything, because it's intuitive when you start to learn to control everything through here. That's not the issue. My issue is with the aircon. You're going to look all the way down here. And then because it's touchscreen, you really need to kind of make sure you hit the right button and you're at that specific one on whatever you want to control, or even to look at the temperature dial, like it's really down here. So again, look, we're looking at the road. You want to change your aircon, coming all the way down over here. And then same thing as the left side indicator, you can look over here if you want when you do turn it on like that. But if you're looking across at any point in time, you see nothing. You do have to kind of look down to see it there. So I feel like if they had raised that further up, this whole thing they've raised up, because, you know, I've got that distance gap there that you could cover. So you could come up probably about here, so that much more. And then these buttons down here to be moved over here. That would potentially be a lot better from the ergonomic side of things when you want to touch buttons and whatnot. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know what you think. And the last thing I want to talk about for this car, in terms of what I don't like, is when you are driving this car. Now, first of all, this car is not overly huge. It's over 5 meters, but for a 7-seat SUV, it's within the same competitors, like in terms of the size, but I'm comparing to a people mover like a Kia Carnival, which we used to have, which was 5155. This is 5060. But this car feels bigger than the Carnival when I'm driving it, and maybe it's to do with the front that I mentioned. I don't like how it kind of falls over, but this car, when you drive, it genuinely feels huge. Now, for some, you might actually like that, and you might like to feel like you're king of the road, but when I'm driving around, I genuinely do feel like this is a massive, massive car. So that's really it. It's just my personal views on it. It's a great design and everything, but it just feels huge. So that's everything I don't like about the Hyundai IONIQ 9. Is there anything else that I've missed that you actually don't like yourself? Let me know in the comments below. Let's keep moving on. So let's talk about the differences between the variants. And there is only one spec, but there's a couple of options and differences when you choose between them. So first things first, we've got the digital side mirrors, which is a $3,000 option. My personal view is save your $3,000 because I personally don't like them. I feel like traditional mirrors are much better. And I guess from a replacement cost side of things, who knows how much they cost? I'm pretty sure they will cost more than $3,000, put it that way. Anyways, let's talk about the rest of the differences. So $3,000 for this. Then basically the other differences that you have besides the colors and all of that is choosing between 6 and 7 seats. So for the 7-seater version, and I'll put a picture up here on the side next to me, the 7-seater version obviously has the bench row seats, which is a 60/40 fold. The 6-seater version basically has 2 captain chairs, which means they have the premium relaxation seats that fold up like the front as well. Some other things as well, the center console that flips out twice. You do have a sliding, not twice, sorry, that flips on or opens up on both sides. This center console is actually a sliding center console to move all the way through to the middle if you want. So perfect for eating chips and snacks and things like that. You put it over here, pass it down to the back people, and they can also pass it back. So I think that's actually really cool. Then you've got a powered 3rd row walk-in switch. So you could push a button and it just moves the seat forward, so you can actually get in a lot easier. So if convenience getting into the 3rd row is something you like, then potentially consider the 6th seat. Obviously only if you need up to 6 seats. If you need 7 seats, then realistically you have no choice. And then the final thing is, you remember in the boot how the 2nd row seats, you push the button, you can just collapse it, but it doesn't come back up. The 3rd row collapses and comes back up. In the 6-seater version, when you push it, it collapses. You can also enable it to come back up as well. Very minimal thing, but I mean, it's a nice luxury, especially if you're paying this price already. So that's the main differences between all of the variants. And also, I forgot if I covered it off already, so side mirrors are $3,000 option, and to have 6 seats is $2,000 option. So if you want side mirrors and you want the 6-seater option, $5,000 plus the on-road costs and all of that. So it works out to be a little bit more than that. So, and then if you want color on top of that, even more than that. So either way, that's all the costings, that's everything. So just being 100% transparent with you. Hope that gives you a good view of what you get and what you can get with the car. Okay, let's talk about ownership and servicing. So prepaid servicing is something that's available when you buy the car. So if you are doing novated lease or financing or whatever, you could do it all in one go. Basically, there's 2 packages that you can get. You can get 2 years or 30,000 kilometers, which is $660. So that works out to be $330 per year. Otherwise, your other option is to do the 4 years, which is up to 60,000 kilometers, and that is $1,345. Now, you work out the split using the 2-year option, it works out to be $330 per year. The 4-year option works out to be $336 per year. So just a little bit more, couple of dollars more per year realistically over that 4-year period. So that's the servicing side of things. Now that leads me on to the warranty. So battery warranty, you've got 8 years or 160,000 kilometers, whichever one is first. And then for the car warranty itself, it is 5 years unlimited kilometers warranty. However, if you do service the car back with Hyundai for the entire time, you do get the additional 2 years, which means you can get up to 7 years unlimited kilometer warranty. However, I will caveat and say that it is not for every single car. And by that, I mean what you are using it for. There are exclusions in terms of how you are using the car. And so what I'll do is I'll put it up here next to me where the restrictions are and the exclusions and conditions, or the terms and conditions on having that warranty. So pause the screen here, have a read of exactly all of that, because that's everything I could find on the website. And so that covers everything about ownership. Okay, let's talk about range, efficiency and charging. So this car from factory, they're saying WLTP is 600 kilometers. Now, when I picked this car up, it was at 95%. I'll put a picture up here next to me, and it said, the screen said 556 kilometers. It did say the max was like 699 or something like that. And then there was also a minimum range of 300 something kilometers. Either way, WLTP rating was 600 kilometers, and at 95%, mine said 556. Doing the maths around that, at 100%, the screen should be showing 585 kilometers. So that's actually pretty accurate from my eyes. Now, as I said, WLTP is 600, okay? And if we picked up the car, let's go with the 585. I'm looking at the moment, and mind you, I've had the aircon on a long time to stay cool and to record content for you all. However, in terms of the range, at the moment, I'm sitting at 51%. It is saying I could do 294 kilometers in terms of driving, and I've currently done 178 kilometers. Mind you, I've spent 11 hours 42 in the car already. So, you know, if we round it up to say 300 kilometers and we've done 178, 478 minus the 472 kilometers realistically, for driving the car pretty much down to zero compared to 600. Is that acceptable? Look, for me as a content creator, I think that's actually okay, at least 450 to 500, even though it said 600. And the reason being is I've sat in the car for many hours with the aircon blasting, recording content and doing work and, you know, a couple of other things. So I personally think it is actually not too bad. However, remember this car has a 110.3 kilowatt hour battery. That is absolutely gigantic. And this car weighs in the vicinity of 2,700 kilos. It is a beast. It is such a big car. And so based on the stats that the car is showing me, I'm currently averaging 25.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. It says from factory it's rated at 20 point something. I've got 25.8. Now, whilst that has been me sitting in the car a lot, I have been monitoring it as I've been driving, and it's been roughly 22, 23 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers to go around in this car from a driving perspective. So let me know if you feel like that is too high, but otherwise that is the specific stats that I have experienced firsthand. Other than that, that's the efficiency side and the range side. Let's talk about charging. So charging, 3-phase up to 10.5 kilowatts, not there yet at the 11 kilowatts, let alone 22 kilowatts that something like the Zeekr 7X has. So 10.5 AC, and then DC you can charge 233 kilowatts, up to DC 233. So they're saying, I think 10 to 80%, I think was roughly about 30 minutes, thereabouts. So that is it for range, efficiency and charging. As I said, remember, this is a 7-seater, 3-row electric SUV that weighs 2.7 tons. It's not a light car. So it is absolutely expected to be a thirstier car. But thankfully, it has a massive battery to accompany it, so it doesn't feel like it's too bad. I feel like this car, honestly, where it's at in terms of the size of the battery and the consumption that it's got, I feel like this is on par to an ICE equivalent. So I don't think we should have the excuse of, I don't feel like the range is enough if you're looking at a general 7-seater SUV, petrol SUV that is. If you're comparing with diesel, you know, this car will absolutely not win on range. I am well aware of that diesel SUVs do like 1,000 kilometers on average. But it's totally different, right? We know that they're more toxic and there's a whole argument to that. So either way, I'm just talking from a range side of things. So if you've got any questions in relation to range, efficiency and charging, please make sure you let me know in the comments below. Okay, competitors. I did mention at the start, there's only a couple of competitors, and so the ones that are within direct competition to this. So this is the Hyundai IONIQ 9, only one variant. Then the other two competitors, there are different variants, but we're going to compare it to the top spec because this one has all the bells and the whistles, right? So first things, Kia EV9 GT line all-wheel drive. Now, I'm not too sure off the top of my head if the EV9 GT is coming. It's definitely out in Korea at the moment, so hopefully it's coming here. But at this point in time, Kia EV9 GT line is absolute competitor. And then you've got the Volvo EX90 twin motor performance. Now, we've recently had that one on the channel. We've had the EV9, I think it was last year, on the channel as well. Both of them absolutely amazing cars. This car is very, very similar to those cars. I'm not going to go through line by line in terms of details, but just know that from a pricing side of things, this one sits very similar to the EV9. The Volvo does sit on the higher end, and there's a couple of other specs that I guess I want to show you. So what I'll do is I'll put the full comparison that I've got onto the side of me. You can have a read of every single line item that you want, but from a size, power, battery, all of that stuff, they are all very, very similar. With exception to comparing the EX90 or the Volvo to the Kia EV9 in terms of power, I think there's almost 100 kilowatt difference in terms of power. So either way, those are the three direct competitors. So pause the screen here if you want to read all of that in a little bit more detail, and let me know your thoughts. Have I missed any other competitors? I feel like I haven't, because those ones are the ones that are very similar, 3-row SUVs. and fully electric. I didn't want to compare to people movers and anything else because that's sort of not the same target market. All right, let's go for a drive. A couple of things I want to show you. Main thing is just, I guess, my views on how this car handles and drives. Obviously, I've driven it for the week, so I can kind of tell you that as well, but I also want to show you a couple of things. And the main things I really want to show you is basically the side mirrors in terms of the cameras. I want to show you how hard it is when you go through bumps like that at 20 kilometers an hour, and I guess just reactions to accelerating in normal, eco, sports mode and that kind of stuff. So we're in normal mode at the moment, 23 kilometers over that bump. Now let's do, say, about 30 kilometers to this bump. There you go. It's quite loud. And so when you indicate, you will notice, hopefully you can see it on the side, that the there's two lines that come up. There's a red line and there's an orange line. So as long as you're before the red line is obviously where the car thinks you're going to hit another car. And then the orange line is basically where your end of the car is. So ideally you don't want to be merging anywhere within those lines. So it looks like a fair bit of traffic coming down here today. So I will probably skip forward until we get to the free part once we've gone through. Okay, so whilst we're stuck in a little bit of traffic, maybe I'll talk you through how this car performed on the highway. Now, I didn't get a chance to record and set up my cameras when I was driving through the highway, but what I can confirm is that it does do auto lane change. Okay, it's not too bad. It did that fairly well. In terms of execution, it wasn't the fastest, but it also wasn't the slowest. In terms of maintaining speed, it definitely did exceed the speed limit, even though I did set it on the specific speed limit. So, you know, as an example, if it's 110 and then the car slowed down for another car, then it's picked up speed. There has been quite a few occasions that it did actually go over the 110. And even at, say, 90 kilometers, just in general, it did actually go over that. So it hasn't applied the brakes as well as it could. In terms of keeping within the lane, I think it's done somewhat okay. Would I trust it from a autonomous driving side of things? Absolutely not. It's not built that way and it's not supposed to be like that. But from a lane keeping side of things, driving for the most part on a highway, I think it's done a good job. And then same thing in terms of visibility and everything. I think realistically the sides are still the issue for me with the digital side cameras. There's no issues with visibility around the back. I showed you earlier on. I think that's actually pretty good. So no complaints from me over there. And then with these acoustic noise cancelling things all around the car that they've taken from Genesis, honestly, spot on, absolutely fantastic. Like, I'll go quiet now for a moment and you listen and you tell me. This is coming from the microphone that I've got mounted here. So I'll go quiet and you listen to the ambient noise inside when cars are passing by. Absolutely quiet. And we're about to turn onto the road that obviously is more free. So 50% in eco mode, it's saying I could do 296, minimum 160, maximum 353. Saying I could do 287 on normal mode and sports mode at 278. So we'll leave it on normal mode. Actually, we'll leave it on eco mode for now. See how that goes. Yeah, very slow, as expected. So I'm seeing now, let me just actually turn off this speed monitoring so it keeps dinging me even if we go 1 kilometer over by accident. Alright, so it seems like in this eco mode it's pretty much almost all the time it is rear wheel drive. The fronts do light up, and where I'm looking at is this power distribution over here, so I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but it does light up the fronts a little bit. When you are taking off at the lights in eco mode, I did test before, it does bring up all-wheel drive and then it goes into rear pretty quick. I am stepping on the accelerator quite hard actually to even get to the speed limit. Then I switch over to normal mode, so I don't feel like there's any difference in terms of the steering at all. I feel like it's all the same, even in normal mode and even in sports mode. I'm not feeling like it's stiffening up. Normal mode is just a bit more responsive. It's still mainly rear wheel drive. When you do step on it hard, it does bring up driving in all-wheel drive, or it does power the front wheels a little bit more when you just step on it, but only just by a little bit. Not too much, to be honest. It's still traditionally rear-wheel drive. Then you flick it over to sport. It is pretty much very responsive, like very responsive. Like I'm doing 60, 50, 55 k's now, and if I step down on it right now, 3, 2, 1, like it pushes you into your seat, and you do hear a little bit of that motor whining. But overall, from a comfort side of things, like it's pretty good. Very silent, very quiet, very smooth. Where it is not smooth, honestly, is probably going to be your driving. If you are driving in sports mode, because it is very sensitive on the pedal, and so it's probably you letting go of the accelerator as opposed to not. So that's where you might feel the jerkiness. But this is a somewhat smooth road with a few bumps here and there. This is absorbing it very well. And again, with all these acoustic things, car's just silent. But yeah, basically, if I'm slowing down and I'm accelerating, it's pretty much totally even. Remember, these motors in this car are 2x157 kilowatt motors, so 314 kilowatts in total. And so it's a very even split in terms of power distribution when you are accelerating. So remember, we're in sports mode at the moment, and whenever we step on it, the power is being sent equal to all 4 wheels. And so on the couple of things that I don't like about the car, I think I just want to make sure we pay attention, and I kind of show you that in person, right? Or not in person, like through this. So one of the things I said was obviously being able to see through over the bonnet and down in front. So hopefully this camera here has picked it up and it can show you across what that actually looks like in front of you over there. Side mirrors, I hope you can see what I mean, and the general ergonomics, that this is all pretty flat. So I'm really looking down whenever I need to look at something. So it's not ideal, but that's just how the car is really at the end of the day. And then hopefully you can see from that camera there how comfortable I'm currently feeling. Yeah, the bolsters really good. Everything is really good. I'm just really comfortable, and it genuinely feels like I'm just sitting on a couch at home. Now, one thing we haven't actually tested is how much lag there is off the line. I do know eco and normal there is quite a bit of lag, but funny enough, driving through the week, because I've just been in traffic, I haven't actually tested in sports mode, so I might give that a go in a moment and we'll see how we go. But I can confirm in eco and normal modes, off the lights, if you are stepping on it, there is absolutely a delay. So don't be too, I guess, upset by that if that is the case. And then just remember, in terms of driving dynamics, besides these couple of modes, there's really nothing else that changes for the car. It doesn't mean that, you know, you drive in sports mode and everything stiffens up. It all actually feels the same. And maybe it does stiffen up and maybe something does change. But from my experience driving this, I genuinely do not feel any difference, and I can't tell you. And I don't want to do wrong by you by saying, like, you know, sports mode, yes, it stiffens up everything and everything's absolutely amazing. The car just feels permanently comfortable. So going through all these bumps, don't really feel it too much. It absorbs it very well. And just in case you forgot, in terms of, I guess, visibility and everything, so besides the fact that I said I don't like and I find it difficult to see over the front, back visibility, totally okay. But yeah, I generally don't have any issues with that. It's all pretty good. And even if you turned this camera on at the back, I think it's actually pretty good. It's very, very clear. I don't have issues seeing at the back through like this, especially at night. I think it's really clear and they've done a fantastic job. Even in terms of the height, being able to manage that in terms of the location, I think that's actually pretty good as well. But my issue realistically is just that and the ergonomics. Otherwise, from a drive side of things, I think it's done pretty well. And just take a look on the left again, just in case you missed it before. That's pretty much the triangle warning for the blind spot. So that's pretty much everything. All right. So I can confirm I did wait for a little bit bigger of a gap just then. Very minimal lag in sports mode. Still a lag, but very, very minimal. Borderline none. So very, very well done. They've definitely stepped it up a notch. It's definitely improved over the years with how sport mode reacts. Okay, so let's wrap things up. So as a summary, what do I think about the car? I think from a design side, and remember I've already mentioned this, looks are subjective and whatnot, but I think they've totally nailed it. I like the fact that they've just gone wild with the design. I think for a 3-row 7-seater EV SUV, should you consider this car? I think genuinely it is absolutely something you should consider, as you should also consider the EV9 and the Volvo EX90 Performance. All three have things that are great and things that are not so great. They are not perfect SUVs due to various reasons. So please do feel free at the end of this video, check out those videos if you want to know more about it as well. The good thing is for all three of the vehicles or competitors, this one included, you can buy them at Hyundai dealerships, which means it is not a fixed priced vehicle. So you can absolutely negotiate a price for this car. So good luck to you if you are going to do that, is all I can say. And I do hope that you do not pay retail price. Now, other than that, like I said, as a 3-row SUV, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'm really comfortable. Yes, there is some form of ergonomics or visibility issues that I've personally felt myself. Is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. Is it something that would totally stop me from buying this car? The digital side mirrors again, that's the only thing that would stop me from buying this car, but they have made it an option, so you can save $3,000 and you can not buy it, and that would be my personal opinion on that. Either way, there is plenty to love about this car, and it is really, really cool. And you know what, if you do like the fact that you'll be talking to lots of strangers, I've had so many people walk up to me, especially while filming and even through the week, going, what car is that, and want to find out more, and then you tell them it's a Hyundai and they're like, wow, you know, all they think of when you go it's a Hyundai is the Hyundai Excel from back in the days. Either way, that is it. So as I've said earlier on, if you feel like I've missed anything or you do have additional questions, please do feel free to let me know. We are here at a red light. We are here in the sports mode. I will absolutely put my foot down to the speed limit and see how quick of a reaction it is if the car goes or not. But a big thank you to all of my channel members. I'll put you up on here to show my appreciation. Thank you to my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, then please make sure you do subscribe. It's going to help my channel go a long way, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you also to Hyundai Australia again for this media loan of the car. And as always, we'll see you soon for more content. Thank you and take care. We'll see you soon. And here is your bonus part. Are you ready? Sports mode. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Oh no, there was a lag. That's disappointing. Should have ended on a high note, but there is absolutely a lag. So we'll do a replay. As soon as I said 1, that's when I put my foot down. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Oh no. So coming back to the original point, if you want to win drag races, or you do need to go and you do want to make sure there is minimal to no lag, you do need to step on the accelerator just a little bit beforehand to get the car ready to say, I need all of those 314 kilowatts to be sent to those wheels. Either way, we'll see you soon. Thanks again.